Hey guys, welcome back to DC Extra. My name is Chris. Today we're going to be breaking down The Flash Season 9, Episode 1. Okay, so here we are beginning the final season, Season 9 of The Flash. And this will have 13 episodes in total, and I'm going to be covering all of them here on the channel. And as I've mentioned before, I will still be doing Superman and Lois breakdowns once that starts airing. However, my scheduling might change a bit for one of them because I can't do two at the same time, obviously. And also I'm going to be starting university, so my scheduling will be a bit different. But I will try to get them both out each week. Anyway, now diving into this episode. Firstly, we get a recap of last season's events, with Caitlin attempting to bring Frost back from the dead, and Cecile's powers getting a major upgrade. This episode starts focusing on a dream that Barry is having, where he and Team Flash take down Tar Pit. However, after this, each member of Team Flash subsequently dies, with their eyes glowing with red lightning. Now just keep this in the back of your mind because I'm going to talk about it at the end of the episode, and to how it could relate to the larger threat of the season. Once Barry wakes up, he and Iris get ready for work, after they both took a week off to recover from the craziness that happened at the end of last season. Joe and Chester help Cecile control her new powers. However, there are some difficulties involved. During this time, it is evident that something is bothering Joe, but we find out exactly what this is later on. As Central City Citizen Media, Allegra tells Iris about a meeting she had with Cat Grant, where she offered to buy CCC Media and expand their global footprint. Iris is uncertain what to think about this news, and for now makes an excuse to leave. Also, if you don't know, Cat Grant is the CEO of Catco from the Supergirl TV series. This is where Kara, aka Supergirl, works when she isn't kicking bad guy butt. Meanwhile, Barry gets an offer to be captain of the CCPD's CSI division. However, his captain is worried about how he will manage it alongside being the Flash. Ford Industries shipment then gets attacked by Owen Mercer, aka Captain Boomerang. Now this is a different Captain Boomerang from Arrow Season 3, as that one was Digger Harkness, which explains the different casting that I mentioned during my trailer breakdown. Mercer steals the power source out of a Roma accelerator. Now this is just basically a portable particle accelerator. Then he attacks the Flash, who attempts to stop him. However, one of his lightning bolts are reflected off a force field, which allows Captain Boomerang to teleport away. Back at their apartment, Barry tells Iris about a book he has constructed, which he calls the Map Book, which is basically a catalogue of future events that happen throughout their lives, which would allow them to experience the future they want to. However, Iris doesn't seem happy about this, understandably so, as she believes it will take away their ability to make their own choices. In a page of the book, we can see that Sue Dearborn buys Big Belly Burger, which is an in-universe burger chain, and with this purchase makes all their products plant-based, which in my opinion is a bad business decision, but it apparently works out for her because she also becomes the world's richest woman. Then as for Iris, she gets her first Pulitzer in 2023 for a story titled Nightmare Under Red Skies. Now this could refer to Crisis on Infinite Earths, as we know that had red skies in it, but it may also tie into the villain of this season, which again I will talk about towards the end of the video. Barry mentions that Iris will become pregnant in 3 months and win 2 Pulitzers, which one of them is for the article I just mentioned and the other we don't know. They then go to sleep, however when they do, pink particles illuminate around them, and then when they wake up, they go to work again. When Iris is at work talking to Allegra, she once again mentioned Catco's offer, but this time the name Kara gets mentioned, which is obviously referring to Kara Danvers, aka Supergirl, who I mentioned earlier works at Catco, which is why she is mentioned here. At this moment, Iris realizes that she is living the same day again, and rightfully so, thinks it is Barry's fault. Similarly, Barry goes to work and has the same discussion with Captain Kramer as he had the previous day, or I guess the same day the first time, making him aware that they are currently living a time loop. After fighting Captain Boomerang again, Barry supposedly dies, but due to the time loop, wakes up in his bed, living the same day once again. They then go to Star Labs to attempt to figure out what is causing the time loop, and believe it to be due to the Roma accelerator. In this scene, Cecile makes a connection to their current predicament and the 1993 film Groundhog Day, where the protagonist also gets stuck in a time loop. While trying to find a solution to the time loop, the Roma accelerator's power source blows up and they wake up in bed again. For the next few minutes, we get a montage of the same day being repeated over and over again, appropriately being accompanied by a song with those exact lyrics. At the end of the montage, Iris gets fed up by the time loop and decides to enjoy her time instead of going to work and living the exact same day again. Barry theorizes that the reason they are in the time loop may be because Iris hasn't accepted Cat Grant's offer, as it said she did in his map book. After this, Barry and Iris have an argument over the map book and whether or not to follow what it says. While Barry is worried about not getting the future, Iris prefers to have free will. Barry then runs off to Joe and Cecile's house, where they help him realize the future written in that map book may come true, but nowhere does it say anything about the way people feel about that future, and in particular the way Iris feels, because clearly the idea of following it troubles her quite a lot. Joe reads the book briefly and finds out that Barry and Iris will move into his and Cecile's home, and this will be important in a second. Barry then goes home where he and Iris reconcile, and then burn the map book. The next day, or rather the same day again, Barry and Iris experience the day together, where Barry goes to work with Iris and she decides to turn down Kat's offer and instead buy the Coast City Gazette and expand her media empire from there. They then go spend some time by a pool before going to CCPD and talking about Barry's promotion with Captain Kramer. The two of them then go to fight Captain Boomerang together. However, before they are able to catch him, he activates a tactical nuke inside of the accelerator, which in order to save Central City, Barry phases the explosion, which keeps everyone safe and alive. Also, Chester and Allegra make out for a while here, but they are also quite awkward about it after, so I guess we'll explore more about their relationship in the next episode. Then we enter the next day, meaning that the time loop has finally ended. They realize that Captain Boomerang has to be working with someone else, because, well, he just isn't smart enough to be using high-end tech. Joe and Cecile talk about what was bothering him earlier, where he mentions that he's worried about what is next for their family, and then he suggests that they leave Central City. Personally, I think that they will end up leaving, because before Joe mentioned that Barry and Iris will be living in their house, so somehow Joe and Cecile will have to move out, and this sounds like a perfect reason. Caitlin then sends an alert to Barry. However, it isn't really Caitlin or Frost, it's someone entirely new, with evidently blue hair. We don't get an explanation for who this is, really. And then we cut to the final scene. And in this final scene, Captain Boomerang meets with the person he was working with, where they give him more boomerangs and then confront him. Here we can see this person is a speedster, presumably using the negative speed force due to the red lightning, and we then end the episode on a symbol that represents a bat with lightning through the middle of it. Okay, now I'm going to talk about what this may mean. So if you don't want spoilers in case I end up being too correct, feel free to click off the video now. But for those who want to listen to my theory, bear with me for a bit. So this symbol is reminiscent of Red Death from the comics. And in the comics, this is basically a combination of Batman and the Flash, where Bruce Wayne merged himself with the Flash. However, since we haven't seen Batman or Bruce Wayne in the Arrowverse, I think this will instead be Batwoman, or Ryan Wilder from the Batwoman TV series. Now, I don't think it will be Earth Prime's Batwoman, but maybe another Earth's that has travelled to Earth Prime and for some reason has a grudge against Barry. Now, if you remember Barry's dream from the beginning of the episode, I think this may be linked to Red Death also, because of the red lightning that was in their eyes. Exactly what this means we will have to wait, but I'm sure it's not a good sign. And then as for Iris' story titled Nightmare Under Red Skies, while it may still be Crisis related, it could also relate to Red Death because of the clear similarity with the colour red. However, this may be a little bit of a stretch, but we will find out either way. Anyway, that is the end of this video, so I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content like this. But until next time, this has been Chris, and I'll be seeing you.